Had you been part of the Patreon Discord community, you would have already been expecting a move similar to what we just got right now. So let me play you a little clip of something I recorded and uploaded exclusive to my Patreon Discord community last night before I went to bed, and we will move forward with checking out Bitcoin thereafter. And by the end of this video, you're going to know, should you be scared, when you should be scared, or when you should start flipping back neutral to bullish exact levels. So that's what you'll know by the end of the video. So let's dive into this real quickly here. I want to show you a mini trap. It's just too perfect of an example not to make a quick daily update for Monday, September 20th, since technically it is on that trading candle right now as of 42 minutes ago. So I'm in my time. This is Sunday, just before 9 p.m. New York City time, but it's the Monday candle right now. So there's a mini trap formulating, and it's important to watch this video for all of you so that you can see the mentality of whales, or maybe it's not even whales. It's the mentality of the smart people who whales are paying, who are controlling and creating algorithms to trick other entities with not as much purchasing power. They can't pay as good of people to program their bots, and I'm going to show you this right now. So here we go. Now, all right, check that out. So let me move my ugly face back over here. There's a Kosa over here, a Kosa over there. Wave your Kosa in the air. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you would have already heard that had you been in the community as well. So per my post on Twitter, which I do provide some, info free on Twitter as well, outside of my community. It's usually not nearly as in depth, but in very general terms, and I'm not going to explain what I explained in that video. So I'm going to move on to a typical Bitcoin analysis here to show you, hey, when should I have my guard up? Should I be scared right now? And all that. So per my Twitter post, which also let everybody know, don't freak out about Bitcoin price until this line that I'm circling. Okay, let's zoom way in. This line, until it's used as resistance on the 1 and or 4 hour chart. So we're on the 4 hour chart. Has price gone below that line, come back up and used it as resistance? No, it hasn't. So first off, that is reason to believe that this is just a retest of support, which is the bottom of the current trend that we're in, which I have labeled each level on the right-hand side for you. And if you follow me on Twitter, which is in the description section, it's at @𝘾𝙤𝙣𝙣𝙚. So somebody already had my name on Twitter. Honestly, it might have been me a while ago. I have no idea, but I don't think I've ever used Twitter before. So same name, but with the number 2 at the end. Anyway, so right now, since Bitcoin is at the bottom of the range, yeah, you should absolutely have your guard up. However, in specific regard to selling Pokemon cards to be holding more tether, personally, and this is what I would do. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Talking about Pokemon cards, I personally would only get a little bit more aggressive to the bearish side by selling perhaps some alts that I'm holding only if I see price come back up, use this as resistance, and ping off of it. Because I would prefer, even if I recently bought those alts and I'm at a 15% loss right now, I would still sell them if that were to happen, because the chance of Bitcoin going much farther down and then your 15% loss becomes a 50% loss. Well, shoot, if I sell at a tiny loss because I just bought, let's say PDEX or Polk or whatever, or MTV or PPRO, and then and this scare happened right after. Well, if you sell it and you're holding tether and Bitcoin tanks, then you buy it back. Now you have more of that asset. So the people who say, "Oh, it's not a loss unless you sell," I'm not selling at a loss. Honestly, if you see a setup for a big drop and you're at a small loss, what do you want more? So let's just think of your favorite coin. Let's say Cardano, right? Whatever is your favorite coin, or VeChain. God, everybody loves VeChain even more. So let's say you love VeChain, okay, and you're at a small loss. So, but think of this: what do you want? More VeChain or the same amount of VeChain? No, I'm serious. I know that sounds stupid, but ask yourself that question. Do I want more VeChain or the same amount of VeChain? Okay. Well, the people who say, oh, I'm not going to sell out of loss, that means you want the same amount of VeChain. You see how dumb that is? I don't mean to be calling anybody dumb, but mathematically, it's not smart. It mathematically means I want the same amount of VeChain instead of setting up myself for a bigger drop on Bitcoin. So now I can use the same amount of tether that I had from selling some VeChain at a small loss. So let's call that you sold $100 worth. Now if Bitcoin tanks, that $100 now buys way more VeChain because VeChain dropped as well, right? So that's what I mean by getting defensive. I would start on a personal basis. I would start getting defensive in that way. All right. So let's see here. What else do we have on Ethereum? How bad is Ethereum getting hit? Yeah. So Ethereum honestly hasn't even touched its weekly 21. It's getting close. So remember what I kept saying? These three, Ethereum and Bitcoin, need to sort themselves out on the weekly chart, right? Because Ethereum was structured way higher than Bitcoin versus the weekly 10. Watch now. Look how much closer they are. So Ethereum's between the weekly 10 and 21. Guess where Bitcoin is? Well, it's actually right at its 21. No, it is. It's between the weekly and the 1021. So they're technically structured the same. Now, is Ethereum up here closer to its weekly? So that, see that dotted red line? That's the weekly 10 on Bitcoin. So Ethereum is closer to its weekly 10. However, technically, from an EMA structural standpoint, Bitcoin and Ethereum have finally sorted themselves out. They are sorted out right now. I told you all this was going to happen, and I was the only one on the internet saying that. They have to sort themselves out. Now, the last and final frontier for sorting themselves out is they need to be on par close. They don't have to be exact. Kind of like right now, they're not structured both, 5% under the weekly 10, but they're both between it. But the last frontier of sorting themselves out, Bitcoin and Ethereum, so they're structured similarly, is versus their all-time high. So right now, Ethereum is how far away? It's 30% from its all-time high. That can't be right. Oh, wrong one, Tim. It's probably the wrong one on Ethereum. I was going to say Ethereum is farther than 30%. So about 47% for Bitcoin. 42. They are almost the same. Well, I actually didn't expect that. I thought that was going to be another step. Honestly, folks, I think the market might be ready to move up after this scare down. I've been telling you, the market is not going to scream up until Ethereum and Bitcoin sort themselves out, and they finally just did it. That might be all the market needed. I would still expect a couple weeks of sideways in the whole market, but that's all that needed to be done, and it did it. And again, you're only going to get that kind of information on the whole market, guesses to that effect on this channel. So let's see here. Wow, I'm actually kind of shocked right now. I did not expect that to happen that fast. So here's what I'm expecting over the next few weeks. So let me delete some of the stuff so it's less busy. All right. Over the next couple weeks, I expect Bitcoin to still play in this range. Simple as that. Because I need 4 candle closures or 4 of 5 above the weekly 10. So if this one's one below, I need, 3 more above. And that's it. And then I think because things are sorted out, it can fly up. So if you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe if you're new, and y'all just got Timified.